What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 10 Fit Man live stream Q&A. My name is Milan Krnjetin, as some of you may know, since you're following me. And just want to say hello from Shanghai, and I'm very curious to know where are you at, where are you from, how are we connected, and also you're very welcome to throw in any questions, any ideas, any suggestions, something we can discuss about. It's been a rough day here in Shanghai. It's 9:17 p.m. and I haven't eaten dinner yet, but I kind of want to keep this streak going. I want to commit to this Thursday's live stream in the evening. So there you have it. I hope you will kind of participate as well. It really helps a lot if you just join in and ask some questions, something, share some problems, and then we can kind of discuss about it and hopefully find the answer, find the solution. I think that's the best thing here. We can join forces from all over the world, and yeah. And I see you. I see you, Fran Serrano from Valencia on YouTube. Thank you so much. You must be enjoying a nice, beautiful weather there now. Here in Shanghai, today is raining and it's kind of depressing weather. But what can you do? It's a higher force, and we just got to keep going. We have people from Netherlands. Hello, Andrea Cagno. We also have Germany. Hello, Germany. New York. What's up, New York? East Coast. And then someone racket that's there behind you. Yeah, these rackets, maybe one day we're gonna do some competition and see if we can create some contest. Just 1 second. All right. Have a little interruption here. Okay. Actually, what's happening? I have a call from a delivery and they are bringing the dinner. So it's downstairs somewhere. Hopefully, they will not throw it away. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll have to eat some more cookies here I have. Anyways, let's get back to this live. Appreciate everybody here. And we have some question already. I watch always your video. I think you're the best coach by an athlete. Thanks for all you do. Wow, appreciate it so much. Means the world. As long as it brings something to you, as long as it gives you some ideas on how to improve your game, or maybe even motivates you, inspires you to go on and with your own journey. We have Tennessee. How do I choose between a one-handed backhand and two-handed backhand? Good. That's a good one. Appreciate it. Pau Kaulan. Sorry, it's tough to pronounce some of your names. But let's go at it. Let's go directly and answer this question. And others, you're also welcome. Instagram, you can also join this live. Just send a request. I will be happy to let you in, so you can get on the screen and we can communicate and just maybe help you solve some problem you're having. One-handed versus two-handed. Well, first of all, it depends. Are you just starting? If you are fully beginner, or you are somewhere in your tennis journey kind of progressing, it really depends. Let's say, assuming you're just beginning, you're just learning the basics and you're kind of thinking which one to go with, I would always recommend two-handed backhand. It's easier to kind of learn how to control the ball, and it's easier to maintain the rallies going on the different balls. It's, I think, for one-handed backhand, it just takes a lot of time, longer time. Even though it could feel more intuitive, it could feel more natural, and it is. but it's just harder. But if I think about it, if I kind of like really, really go deeper, it could be the case that if you are playing at some intermediate level and you're maybe not going to super advanced competitive level, it could be that one-handed backhand maybe is the way to go, because it's just more natural and you will not have very fast balls to deal with. Maybe you will have high balls, but not very fast balls. I think one-handed backhand in that case could also be a good option. Whereas if you really are advancing and you're reaching some high competitive levels, the faster the game is, it's harder to play one-handed backhand. And that's why I believe nowadays we see less and less one-handed backhands on the tour. It's so fast, and then it's hard to maneuver the racket so quickly on this side, and especially returns high balls. So it's kind of mixed. It's not very binary, one or the other. It really depends. I think you can also play both, try to discover which one fits you, and again, depending on your level. I think that helps. Hope that helps. Okay. Wow, I like to see some comments on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Let me just read some from Fran Serrano. I guess you're from Italy. Serrano sounds like some of these guys from, what is it? Oh my god, the Godfather series. You know, I follow you since long. Wanted to say that I like a lot your content, but maybe you should not spend so much time in the serve topic. Also, would appreciate a bit more content based on tactics. Nice, appreciate it. Instead of only technique, I got it. That's amazing. Well noted here. Well noted, and also I will keep that in mind and appreciate the feedback. Means a lot. So focus also on other shots and also tactics. I think I'm kind of balancing recently, especially when I post a video every day. I try to kind of do the variation. When was it? 2 days ago, like a drop shot, and then sometimes I throw in volleys. Today's video was about tweener, but yeah, I will definitely keep that in mind. Top 10. This is the account on YouTube. How can someone go from 3.5 to 5.0 player? You're a very good coach. Thank you so much. For those who are maybe not familiar with this scale, this is kind of, I rank this 3.5. I think this is the USTA rankings. And just for the reference, I think the pros that we watch on TV, they are 6 or maybe up to 7. Like the number 1 and 2 are close to 7, I think. So that's the max. So being number 5, it's like really high. Really high. You can almost say it's a pro level, or like super high competitive level. And 3.5, I call this advanced. So it's kind of after intermediate. What comes after intermediate, and then you get into the advanced level 3.5. And then as you move up on this scale, it gets tougher and tougher and slower. It makes sense. In the beginning, you are kind of learning, and I think you can make a progress quite rapidly. As you get higher, it gets, the line of improvement gets less steep, and then it's like super slow. And to answer your question, like practically, it's a very good one. It's a very good one. I think what separates, let's say, intermediate and then advanced with a pro, because I kind of define it, it's almost like a pro level. I would say it's the couple of things. Number one, footwork, movement, fitness. You really have to pay attention to this part rather than just looking at technical stuff, like details. I think you have to watch much bigger things, which is how well you move around the court, how good is your endurance and agility, your core flexibility. I think these things first will then enable you to improve your shots, because so many elements of different shots really depends on your physical condition. I sometimes almost forget about this or kind of neglect it when I'm giving some advice to my players on the court, even even when I have some younger players or even kids, I kind of assume they can do a certain thing the same way I can do. I know, I should never do that. But that's kind of the point here. For example, running shot. For me, it's kind of easy to maintain the balance when I want to stretch and I can maintain my line here, the vertical line, right? And then control this after swing without losing the balance because should I should have a decent ability to keep the balance and a decent core strength. But then if you don't have that checked, right, then it's going to be difficult. So I would say definitely fitness, the movement, and then in terms of hitting the ball, there are so many pros, they don't have a perfect technique. Like nobody has perfect technique, but they manage to work with that. I would say find out, learn about your strengths, and then quadruple on your strengths. Sorry, I'm just looking at this comment. So I don't know. Sometimes I can look at the Instagram here. I know it's better to have eye contact. Well, this is not really eye contact, but you get what I mean. Where I was going with this. Oh my god. Just like this. Train of thought. Give me a second. Okay, 3.5, improving, not the footwork. The next step was, oh my god, I just lost it. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Um, if somebody was, let's see, were you guys following? I will get back. I see in the chat also a lot of questions. Somebody remind me, where was I with this explanation? Oh my god, it's okay. It happens. What can you do? If somebody can, please give me a reminder what exact point I was talking about in terms of getting from 3.5 to 5, which I said it's like kind of getting to pro level. Do arm self to be strong or less strong? That's question different thing. Whew, okay, let me just take a second. I got it. Now people are asking different questions. So basically, I was talking about how to get to that pro level from advanced, and then I said it's about having a core strength, and then what would be the natural next thing? I would say, oh yeah, got it. Quadruple on your strength. I think you have to know well your game and then build around the strengths. Of course, the weaknesses are totally fine to have them. You can make them solid, but you quadruple on your strength and then you build around that. So you become the player with that like big serve or hard to read serve, the player with that crazy forehand on the run. So you have some kind of advantage or some kind of weapon. I would say that. Sorry, I kind of hold on to this question. I think it's great. And I think it can help a lot of people here. So, the number one, how to get from 3.5 to 5, I would say number one is the footwork, fitness wise, all the elements that we talked about endurance, agility, core, flexibility. So, that's number one. Number two is knowing your game and quadrupling, focusing on your strength. Yeah, quadruple the strength. Finally, last but not the least, of course, you can talk about how to get more power on certain shots, how to maximize efficiency of your shots. This is kind of technical talk and goes into details. But besides that, I would say you kind of want to really learn the game inside out and work on your tactics and also the mental game. Like, again, the higher you go, it becomes also more mental because everybody would know how to hit forehand and backhands. So try to work on that other side of the game, how to maybe read the opponent quicker, and how to adjust, how to create a plan even during the match, because sometimes you will not know the opponent. All right, I think I kind of spent maybe even too much time there. It's just great question. Appreciate it again. And let's get back to Instagram. Does somebody want to join? It's easier to kind of go with the topic if we have a dialogue, even though I'm answering your questions. It's kind of like a monologue. I would really appreciate if we can have somebody, but let me go back. There was somebody here. Luxilon Big Banger, original or Solinco Hyper G for the head extreme. Wow. Honestly, I'm not the person to kind of answer this. Really never went crazy with the strings, and never gave it too much attention. Maybe I should have. I usually use very simple string. So honestly, I cannot give a very, very valid answer here. Is Wilson Pro stuff though to master for uh, is Wilson Pro stuff tough maybe to master for intermediate player? Because maybe it could be a bit heavier. I think there are some versions that are lighter. It's a little bit stiff. It depends on the head size. Usually they are a bit smaller. So I get where the question is coming from, but I don't think it's too tough. I think you can master any racket as long as you're good. You can master any racket. A light tennis racket and heavy tennis racket. Which one good playing daily practice? You shouldn't go too light or too heavy. Find something that's in the middle range, like a 300 grams. I think it's good. My racket is 305. I think it's a retail. I tried to put some little extra weight. It didn't work out. Didn't feel comfortable. Took it off. So yeah, just go simple. What else? We have some other questions. All right, here it is from Klakwa1. I'm lefty with one-handed backhand. Oof, Shapovalov. Immediately I think about it. Having trouble hitting my backhand, and so I do a defensive shot with a slice and set them up with an easy put away. How can I fix this? This is the trouble and the difficulty of one-handed backhands, right? Because if you have a two-handed backhand, you can do more with that. Maybe learn the jump shot like Shapovalov. I don't know. Try to study this very special player, see how he does it. I think you can take that as a challenge and as an interesting task, and it should be fun to kind of develop this kind of shot. So defensive shot. I get it. So maybe when they attack you, you just bring the slice. Okay, or you can work on the slice. It's okay to defend with the slice. Try to practice more slices and really work on the depth of the slice under pressure. I don't know if I'm kind of daring to suggest, if all of that doesn't work, why not trying to go for two-handed backhand, see how it feels, because then you'll be able to defend better. Something like that. What is the best forehand grip? There is no best. It really depends. I would kind of formulate this question better. What is the best forehand grip for you, or for him, for her, for a very specific player? And this depends on the style, on the personality, right? So it really is hard to say in general. It's always very relative. So if you are more aggressive player, or you like to stay closer to the baseline, you should go for more open grip, closer to Eastern. If you like to hit more spin, obviously, if you stand further back, if you are on the defense, it doesn't matter. More Eastern grip, there is a more defensive shot. Of course, you can still go heavy, but I would say it depends on your position and where is your contact point, right? If you're trying to play early, and if you come into a net, more Eastern kind of makes more sense. So yeah, it really depends. Great questions, guys. Appreciate it. Looking again, a question for the racket. What do you think about pure arrow? I'm not really familiar with that. What are the steps to take to become a tennis coach for recreational players? Wow, interesting. Not sure how many people can relate, but let me try to answer. So, the steps to become a coach for recreational players. I don't think there are some like steps one, two, three, four, five. I think you just need to have passion and definitely some experience. It will help if you already also competed before, especially on a higher levels, and because then the people would really like to train with you, and they will also believe what you say. You know, one of my favorite quotes, or I don't know if it's a quote, it's just like a advice, is that you should not listen to people who are not 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 there where you actually want to go. So I think if you got that, if you already played at advanced level, you're good to go. Maybe you can also develop your own style of coaching or your kind of methods. Try to, I call this, what is it, like a, not hybrid, it's like congruent, not congruent, it's like mm, you put all the pieces together, the things that you learned from different people, different sort resources, and then you kind of build your own style, and that can be the model that you can use. Wow, I never kind of tackle this kind of question. Really appreciate it. This is great. This is what I enjoy this so much. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Do we have another question? So we have a question about the fitness and the strength. Do arms have to be strong as legs or less? That's interesting. Obviously, I think legs are the ones that are driving us on the court. Arms should be strong, not necessarily super strong. It's better to have kind of lean muscles and be more able to have longer reach, but also you need quickness. You need quick movements. You need fast hands. You need, I think, more important than the arm strength is the mobility, right? The mobility of the shoulder, flexibility, and also core. Why somebody's having shoulder pain after serving? That's a good one. Definitely, it could be related to technical issue or problem, but also over serving. I had this issue. I'm not saying that my serve technique is perfect, definitely not. And I also improved quite a bit in the last years. But if you're overtraining your serve, it's just naturally gonna happen. You're gonna have some discomfort because that's a very extreme movement from the shoulder. Like we are not actually built, we are not built to hit hundreds of serves with that kind of intensity and the impact there. So make sure that you have a good balance between how much you serve, how much you recover, and yeah, something like that we were talking about. Okay, wow, I'm way behind the questions. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Head still. Okay, sorry. What's the best way to stop my wrist opening on the serve? Wow, good one. And then after that, so let me just read it better to be spin player or flat player, struggling to hit double-handed backhand quick enough. Oof, that's another quite. Wow, I'm gonna actually screenshot this. Guys, appreciate it. Some of these questions really give me a lot of ideas for some topics, maybe even for the podcast. Amazing. Let me tackle this one first. How to stop the opening the wrist. Here is voila, the Wilson Blade V8. This is not the newest version. It's pretty cool racket. So to demonstrate easier, right? When you serve, you must be wondering what another racket? You have like four behind. I don't want to brag, but there is another one here. You know what is this one? Clash. I don't want to brag. There's another one here. Okay, so and so on. I don't want to spend time here. Anyways, let's get back here. Boom. Open wrist. Are we still there? This is the 15 cups of tea. 15 cups of tea. Are we there yet? Let me see. Wow, so many. The same problem. But anyways, this can help. Oh, I see another one. Alejandra. Also, same problem. Great. So we're gonna tackle this and hopefully help two people here. But I'm sure this related. Um, Many people can relate. Why this happens? I think first let's answer this. Why players open the wrist in the serve, right? It's very intuitive thing. It's kind of natural thing because you are focused on the ball. You're focused to hit that ball in the court. The most natural, intuitive way is obviously to go up with a racket face, right? And that means open here. And therefore, also what happens is that in a drop, you kind of already open here. But here is something I want to say. Do you guys believe that when you go in a drop, opening the wrist here, actually, it's not a problem. You can still have a massive serve even when you open this, as long as, like, I don't have enough space. I cannot do correct. As long as when you go up, you are actually going with the edge, right? And this is where the wrist is kind of aligned. I cannot show on both screens here, right? This is the goal. When you're going up to hit the ball, that your wrist is kind of in this straight line, that you don't have this, because after here, then you'll be able to pronate. Now maybe you're gonna say, okay, I already know that. I'm asking how to fix it. How to fix it? I like this drill where you're serving with the edge of the racket. Completely forget about strings. Forget about hitting with the strings. Go and hit 50 serves, full serve, normal, and then go and hit with edge of the racket. You're gonna miss a lot. You're gonna hit some maybe with the strings, like a lot of slice. But what's gonna happen? And then what's gonna happen is that you're gonna get more comfortable with this movement, right? And you're gonna stop opening. Now you already created a habit, right? So that's gonna be tough. So you have to forget about your old habit. You have to unlearn your old habit and learn this new one. I highly suggest you do after this, you do mix, you alternate like this. Edge, serve with the edge, and then you do regular serve as the same as you want to hit with the edge, but then you kind of change your mind at the end. And then you keep alternating. Edge fully, and then think edge, and then you change your mind. Boom. And then keep alternating. I kind of really believe this can help. I also have some players, I had some players, and this helped them a lot. There was another question after that. Wow, today we are active. I really like this. Oh yeah, better spin or flat? Always spin, because you can, it's easier from the top spin. Like once you know top spin, it's easier to learn flat, and you can usually hit flat, and you can be much more consistent with top spin. And how to hit double-handed backhand quick enough. I don't know if you mean, this is from Ronak Galaya. If you mean quick enough in terms of speed, or how to get quick there in the position. If it's speed, I think you need to check if you are loose enough your shoulders. And I think the main thing is if you are creating the whip, so also the wrist. And then if you are initiating the whole turn, I cannot now show this, with a hip, right? The hip has to start first, and then you initiate the chain with being super loose. Hip, and then stopping the rotation, and arms through. Watch Sinner, the best example for this super fast backhand. All right, we had another one here. Okay, from Alejandra. I have trouble with my serve, always open face of the racket. I just explained this, so I think you're good. Hopefully you heard it. What else we have? Thing is to point a goal with the edge of the racket first. Yes. Great. Hope this helps for at least two people. Wow. My mission accomplished for tonight. I can literally just turn off. So happy, even though I would really like if we have somebody to join, at least say hi. But maybe I'm asking for too much. I do enjoy it, even though I was like super tired, still, and also hungry. I just went swimming, got so exhausted. But yeah, I'm happy to do this every Thursday, guys. So you can always write this down, put it in your schedule, because I think you have a chance to, not just ask a question, but start a interesting conversation. And I think we can, again, together come up with some good solutions here. Memphis, Tennessee. Hello. How's everything there? I would like to get back to YouTube. Let's do like one or two more questions and I will slowly wrap up. The drop shot video was nice. From Tom York. Did you know that there was a tennis player named Rita and her husband actually invented the medication Ritalin and that could play better afterwards? That's cool. That's interesting. Appreciate it for sharing that. Always learning something new. How do I improve the mobility of my shoulder for more racket head speed? Thank you so much, Gomborai. There's tons of exercises, and I'm sure you can search on YouTube, on Google, mobility of the shoulder for the racket head speed. Based on my knowledge and what I did was a lot of exercise with elastic bands. So you work on this. So what's more important, obviously how much you go forward, but it's how much you can go back. This is how I sometimes test the players when they start serving, so like this on the side view, right? And then I see how far you can go without moving the elbow is fixed, how far you can go right here. And usually those who are having very stiff, they literally, so if this is like 90, right? And then horizontally 0, they literally can go a few degrees back. I would say to go 45 degrees, it's kind of a reference that's like decent, and then you want to go even lower. How to improve it? So elastic band, right? It's behind attached, and then I kind of walk forward and then see how far I can go, and I hold that position. And then you just kind of stretch it. And then you can do different positions also from here. And one more thing, it's not only about the shoulder, it's also about these big muscles here. It's called latissimus dorsi, or lats, right? This big, the ones that kind of create, well, I cannot show you, maybe I'm not that strong enough. It should be like a V, right? It creates on men usually, hopefully not on women unless they're like bodybuilders. It goes from out in, right? So these big muscles, if they are stiff, you will have a problem with the racket drop. So I got this advice from a very, very good coach and a good friend of mine. So he told me to really stretch out this like on a regular daily basis to find the best exercises. So I found very simple exercise. You kind of hold onto something that's a bit higher and then you just lean forward so you feel the stretch. And then to emphasize, you can kind of tilt that way and you feel that. So this could be also the issue, because if that is stiff, it just affects the whole movement, the whole chain. Whew. Okay, shared something else, hopefully useful. Which strings suitable for my clash? Go for some with some poly strings. I actually also use clash, and poly strings feel great. My wrist is not suitable. It's not stable when hitting the ball. My wrist is not stable when hitting the ball. First of all, it's great that you are aware of it. You cussing, right? That's the first step, being aware. How to work on that? I think this is the issue. The issue is more about your positioning, because if you are able to read the ball well and set up properly, and then you get to that nice contact point, there should be no problems. Whereas if you're not in the right place, and then the ball is a little bit off, far in front, on the side, or a little bit behind, you're kind of subconsciously changing the wrist, and this is where you kind of feel it's maybe unstable. Another reason could be that you are not holding the racket properly, right? In terms of the grip strength. So this is my advice here, and this can help a lot of people, right? You know this, that you should kind of have like a loose grip, stay loose, not too tight. You want to stay loose so then you can create the whip, right? But if you really think about it, and I really experimented with this, if I'm super loose throughout the whole shot, including the contact point, what's going to happen? It's going to be so random, especially if the ball doesn't hit the sweet spot. Imagine if you're a little bit off, whatever is the sweet spot, if you're a little bit off on like higher, right? It's going to make the racket turn, and that's going to feel like your wrist is unstable because you are loose, which is good. It's good to be loose. Now here, my advice is stay loose, right? And then as you kind of pull the racket, go towards the contact point, you have to stabilize the wrist. You have to grip it so that you ensure that, of course, when you're like always perfect in a sweet spot, you could get away with super loose grip, even though I still think you can grip it better. But if you are aware of that looseness throughout the swing, and then when you pull it at the contact point, you're kind of more stable. So regardless of where you hit it, it's going to be solid. And you should not really use much wrist through the contact point. It should be very stable. So it's more like rotating the forearm, right? And playing it from actually the shoulder. The wrist should not do much at the contact point. Okay. Hope that was helpful as well. Mariam, how can I stay calm during match? Please give me some tips. Mariam, are you still there? This is an awesome tip, and it's like almost like a separate. I can do a whole live, a whole like podcast, and I will actually maybe do the podcast with this topic. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Appreciate it. Calm during match. All right. Anybody else has the same problem? Sorry, I just read this. I use foam roller for the lats mobility. I used to do a lot of gymnastics. There you go. Perfect. So that can help a lot. Foam roller. All right, let's answer this question. How to stay calm during the match? The question is from Mariam. Okay, I already said it. And this is something I did just a few days ago. I was giving a speech at Toastmasters, which I didn't really prepare so well, so it was kind of impromptu. And I went to the bathroom to kind of actually change. I was doing something with the shirts. By the way, I was using this 10 Fitment shirts, and I put like five shirts, one on top of another, because they're all different colors. And then I was taking them off during my speech. Anyways, I was in the bathroom at the mirror, putting the shirts on, watching myself in the mirror, and I kind of felt so anxious. And I felt my like chest here, it like wants to explode. And then I just try to put it all together, and then just breathe in and then breathe out, like really chill. I'm like, what are you like afraid of, or like what can happen? It's just you're just gonna go there, give a speech to like I don't know, 20, 30 people, whatever. Who cares? It's like it's not a big deal. So I think that's one approach. First of all, breathing, just chill, and then focus on that rhythm. Make sure you get the same rhythm. So usually I would count, or I would just do it with a habit. 4 seconds inhale, so it's a little bit quicker inhale, really deep one, and then longer, slightly longer exhale. So 4 and then 6 seconds, something like that. But I think you can do that for a few minutes before the match, and then also during the match between the points or during the changeovers. And then, as I mentioned, you can just change the perspective and you think, what am I afraid of? Like, why am I so nervous? Like, what is there to lose? I mean, you're gonna lose a match so many times. Everybody loses, and then what? So you kind of twist that, and you tell yourself, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Why wouldn't I just go out there and have fun? Let's just really enjoy it. And if I feel this nerves, that's fun. That's exciting. I think if you make that switch, that's a game changer. And then what else? I also like to do this kind of focus on footwork instead of allowing this frozen feet when you're like, oh my god, it's a break point, like, and then you don't even move. You literally push yourself to move as best as you can, and then you see the magic happen. You start to get active, run around the backhands, hit forehands. When you get more active on court, you usually play better. And also you can think of tactics. Bring it on. Like, when you get on court, you should have already a plan, or you can develop it during the match. You kind of notice, that guy or that girl, they're a little bit slow when I push them wide on the forehand, or they're very slow when they move forward. I'm gonna just do that more. I'm gonna play more drop shots, even though that's not my game. Create some tactics, and then when you get into that kind of problem solving, or you're like playing chess, you're not gonna feel so much stress or like nerves or pressure, because you will get into this game. I think that's the point. Get in the game and enjoy it. All right. I think that was great. I mean, great question and good answer. Good answer. Consistent ball toss from Helena. It's very important how we hold the ball, right? So I like to call this holding like a raw egg. So you cannot squeeze, but you still need to make sure it's there, stable, and then you kind of open the palm. This is like a flower, like blooming, or blooming, right? And then, or a glass of water on the side, and you just kind of release it. Either way, you want to be gentle. You don't want to squeeze too hard, but you want to have this motion directly up, avoiding the wrist, avoiding any elbow action. So it's straight on, release it. And then practice, practice, practice relentlessly. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'm gonna slowly wrap it up. Good morning, US. Good morning, Jasmine. Ciao, Yato. My cousin from US. Really grateful. All right, great. I think I answered a few questions there. Appreciate it to all of you for your time and your great questions and ideas. And once again, this is the way I like to wrap up this live. If anything, well, you maybe take something from this live, and it might help you next time you're on court. And then I have this kind of little favor. It's not even a favor. I think it's going to help everybody here. Next time when you're on court and you find some problem you're having, some issue, something not working, or in a training session, or in a fitness during your training, any problem you face, something that doesn't work or you cannot figure it out, write it down immediately. Take your phone in the notes, write it down, and then next time you're on Instagram or on YouTube, please, you can just send me. You can send me in a private message, or maybe even better, next time you join this live, just send it here in the chat. Share these problems, and then together we can solve them. I think it's a fun interaction, and we can all kind of learn from it. That's it. Keep having fun. Keep playing this game, because it's an amazing. It keeps you going. Keeps you like healthy. Keeps you like here strong. It's something. It's one of the best games, and you're gonna be able to play it for a long time, like until whatever you want. until you want. You can play singles, doubles, and you can always challenge yourself. I think that's the key. I'm gonna wrap on that. I'm gonna close it here, and that's it, guys. Have a great one. I'll talk to you soon in the next live every Thursday. All right, see you.